Layers allow you to manage different elements in your diagrams more efficiently. In this video, you'll see how to add layers and assign shapes to them, and you'll also learn how to hide, show, and lock shapes in a layer, as well as rename and delete them. One way to use layers is to group like shapes together, in case you want to format them at the same time, for example. So here in my organization chart, the sample file for this video, I can group the different org chart shapes based on their ranking. First, launch the Layers pane by going to the Home tab, clicking on the More Options menu at the end, and then selecting Layers. In the Layers pane, we can see that there are some default layers. We can see the layer name and the number next to it. So for example, there's a layer called Container and one called Connector, containing all of that kind of shape. The rest of the shapes are in the unassigned layer, so let's create an additional layer to add them to. Click the Add Layer button and give the layer a name. I'll call my first layer Directors. Now click Away. To assign shapes to a layer, first select the shape or shapes you want to assign. So I'll select my first director shape, hold Ctrl and select my other director. Now in the Layers pane, click the radio button for the layer you want to assign the shapes to. In this case, Directors. We can also assign shapes by right-clicking. I want to create a layer for my C-suite employees and assign shapes to that layer. So I'm going to right-click one of the shapes I'm going to use in the layer. In the context menu, mouse over Assign to Layer. Here we can see the existing layers. I'm going to select New Layer. Again, give my layer a name. I'll call it C-suite. Press Enter to submit, and now the shape is assigned to the new layer. Now we can use these layers to modify the properties of multiple shapes at a time, including their visibility. Say you want to hide shapes in a certain layer so you can focus on the other shapes. For example, maybe I want to hide my director shapes. Mouse over that layer and click inside the visibility column of the layer to toggle visibility off. Now the shapes have been temporarily hidden. You can click there again to toggle the visibility back on and show the shapes. You can also lock all shapes in a particular layer so that those shapes can't be selected to prevent accidental changes. Again, I'll use the Directors layer. This time, mouse over the Lock column and click the Lock icon. Now all the shapes in that layer get locked. Watch when I try to select one of the shapes in the layer. I can't select it. To unlock the layer, click the Lock icon again, toggling it off. Another handy feature of layers is that they allow us to select and format all of the shapes inside the layer simultaneously. Let's say I want to format all of the connectors in my diagram. To do this, I can just mouse over the connector layer in the Layers pane, click the More Options button, and in the context menu, click on Select Shapes. Now all of the connectors get selected, and I can, for example, change their color. So I'll open the Shape Outline dropdown, and I'll select a different color. When I click Away, we can see that those connectors have been formatted accordingly. To conclude, let's see how to manage layers by renaming or deleting them. Let's say I want to rename my C-suite layer. I can double-click on the name of that layer to make it editable. And now enter a new name. I'll call it Corporate, and press Enter to submit the new name. If you want to delete a layer, mouse over the layer, then click on the More Options button, and select Delete. A prompt opens asking us to confirm whether we want to delete. There's also the option, which is checked, to delete assigned shapes. If you want to remove the layer without deleting the shapes contained in the layer, deselect this option, then click Delete to confirm. Now the layer has been removed from the pane, but the shapes remain. Now close the Layers pane, and this has been an overview of using layers in Visio Plan 1 or Plan 2.